My name is Neil McKinney, and this is Self-Care Mondays, presented by Ess McKee and 10 East Arts. I will be guiding us through a 45-minute practice, and I wanted to just give you just a little bit of guidance before we begin. If this is your first time to yoga, welcome. I'm so happy to be able to give this time to be able to guide you in your practice, and just want to share my philosophy in terms of what I believe when it comes to yoga practice. My teaching style is within vinyasa yoga, which is very much about movement. And my belief is that our bodies are all built differently, and everything that yoga has to offer is with the understanding that we listen to our breath, our minds, and our bodies. And throughout this practice, I will be giving guidance to do and try different postures. And I want to make it clear that there is no expectation here that you are absolutely required to do anything. Yoga in and of itself is a practice that allows us to be present in our bodies and to allow for the breath to help us move our bodies. That being said, our bodies show up differently every day, and it's important when we think about self-care to really hold on to the truth that is our self-care and our bodies look differently, and we should be respectful of that. So as we move through this practice, if there's anything that feels like it doesn't feel good, ask is that you listen to your body and that you take it out. I will be giving a number of different options in terms of how we enter into it. Do know that there is no expectation here that your practice has to look a certain way in order to be considered yogi. Yoga is a practice that continues to build upon it. And so with that being said, I will also be offering different suggestions in terms of the use of props. A big prop is a block. If you don't have a block, that's okay. Books like this one can be very good because they're just very sturdy. So if you need to locate a block or a prop or something to get started in this practice, you may pause the video now and resume when you are ready. But otherwise, we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to ask you to take a comfortable seat on your mat in your space. And so you may not have a yoga mat, and that's also okay too. You can use anything from a towel to a blanket to the hardwood floor. I ask is just that you make sure that you use something that is stable so that no matter how you move through your practice, that you are able to be safe. Safety is the most important thing for me. And so we'll start in a comfortable seat. Cross-legged is a good form to start. So once you find a nice cross-legged pose that feels comfortable to you, maybe pull the flesh from underneath your sit bones just to make sure that you're nice and rooted. And taking your hands, we'll place them here on our knees and begin to lift the chest up to the sky as high as you can, keeping what's known as the crown of the head nice and tall as well. And I invite you to bring your eyes to a close. As you close your eyes, just begin to settle into the space that you're in, and knowing that there may be distractions both in the mind and also around you, knowing that in our lives we continuously encounter varying forms of distractions, especially in these times of COVID-19. There's a lot that can distract us, and yoga gives us an opportunity to pause, to be able to be present on our mats. And even in our practice, we still will find ourselves distracted. So starting here in a seated pose with the eyes closed allows us just to begin to create and begin to set our intention for how we spend our practice. And I invite you at this moment to begin to just breathe naturally through the nose and out of the mouth, inhaling and exhaling at your own pace, while I guide us through just a visualization, again, just to help us get seated and settled before we move into moving our bodies. So as you're sitting here, begin to bring to the top of the body, head, thinking about the eyebrows, the eyes, the ears, the nose, the mouth. Just checking in, just thinking about, are there any parts of this part of the body that you're at, or that maybe don't feel so great? If so, just noting what you feel, not doing anything about it, but just noting what's there. And as you continue to breathe, we then look downward between the neck, the shoulders, the chest, the rib cages, the elbows, the knees, the wrists, the fingertips, the ankles, and the feet. Just how is your body showing up today? Are you feeling any discomfort anywhere? And if so, just making note of it. And now I invite you to bring in a steady breathing rotation of inhale and exhale, beginning with an inhale through your nose, and then exhaling, letting it out of your mouth. Again, inhaling through the nose, exhaling, open the mouth out. One more time, inhale through the nose, exhale, release it out of the mouth. Now bringing your lips to seal, I invite you to only breathe through the nose, inhaling and exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, bringing all the energy that you can into your practice, exhaling any doubts, any concerns, any fears, inhaling, knowing that where you are is exactly where you're supposed to be, exhaling all of the negative energy that might be around you at this time. And as you continue breathing on your own, I invite you to bring to mind an intention for our practice. It could be a phrase, or a word, or a person. Anything that brings you back to your practice, such as I am okay, or love, or my mom. Using this intention throughout our practice will give you an opportunity just to continuously be present on your mat, so that you are able to focus on your breath, focus on the movement in the body, and knowing that you're giving this time for yourself to focus on you and bring energy that uplifts and supports your being. So as we come to this breath, we inhale one more time, exhale, let it out through the nose. We blink the eyes open. Coming back to ourselves, if you've drifted away, we'll gently begin to move the body by bringing the shoulders up to the ears. Exhaling, letting the shoulders drop just so gently. Inhale, shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, let the shoulders drop down. Inhale, one more time, shoulders up to the ears, holding it here. Inhale. Exhale, releasing the shoulders down. We may begin to find some movement, bringing the shoulders into rotation, forward. And then maybe we bring the shoulders in rotation in the opposite direction. And then maybe bringing the head then up and down, side to side. Just doing what feels good for you as you breathe. Knowing that the breath that you take in, you can be intentional in how you guide it to places where maybe you feel tension or resistance in the body, and trying to allow that tension or resistance to break apart and to ease. Inhale here, exhale here, we come to stillness. We'll inhale, lifting our arms overhead, and we'll grab the left wrist with the right hands. And on an inhale, we'll lift up to the sky, hinging from our torso, and begin to lower to your right side, keeping both of your sit bones connected to the ground. We're just finding a nice, gentle stretch here on the left side. If you feel a lot of tension, maybe pulling back just a little bit, but again, inhaling here to lift, exhale to lower. Inhale, extend, exhale, lower. We'll inhale to bring ourselves back to center this time, switching to the opposite side here. Inhale, lift from the hips, and then exhale, lower to the most comfortable level as possible. Taking in the breath, inhale, and exhale. Inhale, coming back to the center here. We release the arms to the sky, and we interlace those fingers and turning those palms upwards toward the sky. If this feels uncomfortable, you can also release and just have the fingertips to touch. We will inhale here and lift up one last time, and then we're going to find a nice slight back bend, so begin to lower the arms behind you, keeping that chest tall. And then exhale, we come back to the center, releasing the arms to the sky. We're going to lower from our hips again, lowering down towards the ground with the hands floating as we keep the chest lifted tall. We fold over the knees, inhale to lift the chest tall, and exhale to extend those hands forward wherever they may fall. We inhale here and exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale. We begin to slowly draw the hands back in towards the body, bringing our hands to the knees. And I'll invite you, if you found a prop to use, we'll use it here, placing it by your right hip. For now, inhale, lift those hands tall. And then on an exhale, you're going to bring the right hand back behind And maybe place the right hand on the block or prop or the ground if that feels nice, just so that you have support here. You're going to exhale, lower the left hand onto the right knee. We're going to do a twist here. So inhale, lifting tall. Exhale, turning the head, the shoulders, and the torso slightly to the area behind the body, not forcing too much, but just following your breath here. Inhale to lift, exhale to twist, inhale, exhale, inhale to release, coming back to the center, bringing those arms to the sky. Repeat on the opposite side here. So inhale, left hand comes back behind the spine, giving us nice support. Right hand comes to left knee. We lift tall here. Inhale. Exhale, rotate. Inhale to lift. Exhale to rotate. Inhale, releasing. We bring our arms back up to the sky. And then we exhale, floating our hands out to our side. Next, we're going to do a little bit of stretch in the shoulders. So inhale, you lift the right arm up to the sky and place that right hand on the left side of the head. And then very gently, not pulling with the hand, you're going to inhale and lower the head to the right, allowing the right hand just to be there just as a nice little guide. And breathing in, you may start to feel some feedback in that left shoulder area. So just knowing, again, that you can release as much as you need. There's no need to push the boundaries, but just breathe in, breathe out. And then if you'd like a little bit more engagement, you can tiptoe those fingers further out. But again, deciding what your boundary is. We inhale, we exhale. Inhale, tiptoe those fingers back in if you did. And then releasing the right hand, we bring the head back to center, lowering the right hand back to the ground. Switching to the opposite side, inhale, lift that left hand, bringing it to the right side of the head. And then we lower on an inhale to find that engagement on the right shoulder this time. Making a choice here. How much engagement do you need? Following your own breath, doing what feels right for your own body. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. We bring those fingertips back in. And then we release, bringing the left hand back to the ground. Inhaling here, we're going to find ourselves onto our hands and knees. This is known as tabletop. With tabletop, you want to ensure that the hands are nice and wide, so spreading those fingertips out. And with your shoulders, you want to make sure that they're aligned over the wrists and your hips are aligned over the knees so that you have nice alignment for safety here. We're going to do a few rounds of cat-cow. With cat-cow, we're going to, on an inhale, extend that head and tailbone up to the sky. And then exhale, pressing the ground away, we bring the head and tailbone inwards to the middle of the body. Inhale to extend. As you do so, you drop your belly low like a cow. Exhale, pressing that ground away. Head and tailbone come in, arching the back like a cat. Inhale to extend. Exhale to contract. Now I invite you here to find cat-cow on your own breath, following the inhales and exhales. You may decide that you want to speed it up a little bit or slow it down. But again, just trusting your breath and following your breath, knowing that everything that is emotion should follow your breathing and not the opposite way around. You maybe might decide to wiggle the hips and the shoulders from side to side as you move in and out. But again, finding a nice supportive balance here. Wherever you are, inhale one more time to extend. Exhale to, and then we come to stillness. So from here, a little bit of arm-leg balance. So inhale here, we're going to extend that right foot to the back of the mat, and the toes will touch here. If you decide this is where you'd like to stay, I encourage you to hold this position here. If you'd like to do a little bit more, you can inhale and lift that leg to a hover, flexing that back foot like you're pressing it against the wall behind you, ensuring that your hips stay level. You are welcome to hold here, or if you wish, you can also extend that left hand to the top of the mat. We'll hold here for a few rounds of breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale one more time. Exhale. And then taking a breath here, we reset. And then switching to the left side this time. Making a choice here, either to keep the back toe connected or hovered, and or to bring the left arm out. We inhale here, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale one more time, exhale, and then we return back to tabletop. From here, we're going to tuck our toes underneath our feet, and then keeping those fingers spread out as much as possible. We're going to press the ground away to lift the knees a few inches off the ground, and then we're going to press up to a pike position on our tiptoes, hips high to the sky, and then we shift those hips back to find what's known as downward facing dog. This may be your first downward facing dog of the day or first time down dog ever. So I want to give you some guidance here. With down dog, you want to play around with the arms and legs, figuring out how to feel most supported. The arms should be nice and supported, giving the body an opportunity to rest gently between the hands and the feet. If you want a sensation that you feeling as though that your hands are pressing the mat forward and that your feet are pulling the mat in the opposite direction so that you have a nice support here. If this does not feel supportive to you, you're welcome to come down to tabletop. But we breathe in here, breathe out. I'll also offer the blocks as an additional level of support to bring the ground closer to you. But we hold down dog, breathing in, breathing out, keeping that gaze between the knees and the navel. And then on an inhale, you're going to look up towards the top of your mat. And you're going to walk your feet very slowly. You walk them out as wide as you need to bring yourself up to what's known as forward fold. Again, the props here can be very useful. Bringing the ground to support you here. You want to make sure that those knees aren't locked out, that they are nice and loose. And that the arms dangle heavy along with the head. And perhaps you may sway from side to side. Maybe also connecting your arms to your elbows. Finding movement from side to side. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, we come to stillness, coming back to forward fold here. On an inhale, you'll bring your hands to your shins and then begin to press to extend and lift yourself up to a flat back. This is known as Uttanasana. With the hands on the shins, you want to press the core of the stomach away from the thighs. You don't want them to dump into the thighs. So inhale here, we lower the hands back to forward fold. We inhale, press up to flat back. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, press up to a flat back. Exhale to lower down. This time, bending in those knees, you're going to hinge from your hips to begin to lift to standing, but keeping the head heavy and allowing it to come up last, stacking one vertebrae on top of the other until you come up to standing at the top of your mat. This is known as mountain pose or Tadasana. I'm going to turn to the center here. You keep the shoulders nice and relaxed, the arms out to the side, and your stance nice and supportive, chest and the head nice and tall. So we inhale here, bending in those knees. We sweep the arms overhead to bring our palms to touch, bringing your hands into heart center. I invite you now to close the eyes just for a moment and to bring yourself back to your intention for your practice today. What is it that you're trying to cultivate in this practice of yoga? And how can you let go of any of the expectations you may be feeling about how your practice is showing up? Inhale here to breathe in supportive energy. Exhale to breathe out through the mouth any negative thoughts or beliefs. We blink the eyes open, bending in the knees, sweep the arms overhead. We'll grab the left wrist again like we did when we were seated, lifting up to the sky. Exhale, lowering to our right, finding a nice stretch again, now standing. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, back to center. We switch to the opposite elbow here. Inhale, lift tall. Exhale, lower to your left side this time. Inhale, coming back to center. We release, and this time the palms touch, and we're going to interlace the fingers except for the pointer and the thumb, as though we're pressing up towards the sky. Then we lift, and we find a nice light back bend. I'll turn from the side here so you can see this. Inhale, exhale, come back to center. Inhale, release those hands, palms touch. Bring it to heart center. We're going to continue down to find our way back to forward fold. We're going to move into a sequence to get down to the ground. So keeping those knees nice and bent here. Inhale. You can use the blocks if need be too, I should say. You're going to plant the hands into either the blocks or the ground. You can come onto the tiptoes of the fingertips. So you're going to bend those knees and step that right foot back, followed by the left. And again, just like we did before with tabletop, keep those shoulders over those wrists. And we find ourselves in plank position. If plank feels too intense, you can bring the knees down. As long as you keep the shoulders over the wrists, the engagement and the core stays the same. So we inhale here, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. We'll lower our knees to the ground and untuck our toes. And inhaling here, you're going to bend those elbows in towards the rib cage to bring your chest down towards the ground with your chin. This position is known as pranam, knees, chest, chin. We'll inhale here to pull the chest very slightly through the arms, coming down onto the hips, and we bring ourselves to what's known as cobra position. Inhale here, we lower the nose to the mat, we tuck our toes, and pressing into our arms onto the knees, we bring our hips back to our heels, and then when you're ready, you'll press to lift the hips high and shift them back, finding downward facing dog. We inhale here, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. We look up to the top of the mat, and you will have an option here. I will actually offer a different way to walk your hands to your feet, this time coming to forward fold at the back of the mat. Again, yoga is all about doing what's best to support the body. So walking your feet forward and walking your hands back brings you to the same place, which is forward fold. We inhale here, lift up to a flat back. Exhale to lower down. Bending in those knees, we sweep the arms up overhead. Palms touch, bring hands to heart center. We continue down to forward fold. And then this time, you're going to bend those knees, and you're going to walk your hands out to plank position, finding your version of plank, either hovered or on the knees. But we hold here, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale again. This time, you can either lower back to the knees, or keep the knees hovered, but we're going to bend the elbows just like before to bring our chest to the ground. We untuck those toes. And then just like before, you're going to inhale, pull that chest through to cobra. And if you wish, you can also push all the way up to upward facing dog. Inhaling here. We lower ourselves back to our nose. We tuck those toes. And we press ourselves back to hips to heels, lifting up to downward facing dog. Finding your version here, we inhale, we exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, looking up at the top of the mat. I'll give you the option this time. You can walk your feet forward or walk your hands back. I'm going to walk my feet forward, finding my way to forward fold. No matter if you're at the back of the mat or at the top of the mat, whatever feels most supportive for you. We inhale, lift up to a flat back. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, bending in those knees. We sweep the arms overhead. Bring palms to heart center. We continue down to forward fold. Again, I'll use the blocks here, but if you're at the back of the mat, you're going to walk your hands forward. If you're at the top of the mat, You'll plant your hands, bend those knees, and then find your way to plank. Holding your plank here, we inhale, we exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, we lower down before and pull ourselves through to cobra or upward facing dog. We exhale, lower our nose to the mat, we tuck those toes. This time we press up to the hands and knees to shift our hips back. But this time you're going to walk your knees all the way out to the edges of your mat. Tuck those toes. And you're going to lower the chest to find a child's pose. With the block here, you may find it supportive to have it as a pillow. But this is just a resting posture, just to take a moment of breathing for yourselves. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And just taking a moment here in your child's pose to reconnect your body with your mat and the ground. And just checking in with yourself to see how's your practice going. Are you feeling supported? If you are not feeling supported, how can you breathe more energy into that support? How can you release yourself of any of the expectations that sometimes make us feel as though we're not enough? As you continue to breathe, just breathing in energy that helps to support you and knowing that you are enough as you are in this practice right here, right now. You're doing everything to the best of your ability. So just continue to breathe that support into yourself. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, we're going to look up to the top of the mat here. We're going to bring ourselves down to the stomach here. And we're going to place our hands to the tops of the mat here. And we're basically going to press and lift the chest up like cobra. This is known as Sphinx pose. We're going to do a little bit of stretch in the head to focus on stretching our low back here. So keeping your gaze at eye level, you're going to inhale, you're going to tilt the head upwards. And then exhale, you're going to bring that chin into the chest. You may begin to feel, as you inhale, lift up, a little bit of stretch in the low back. Exhale, chin to chest. Just take it easy, breathing into the motion between each two. If this is too much, only lift the head as much as you feel comfortable. Exhale, chin into chest. One more time, inhale, lifting the gaze up. Exhale, chin into chest, and we lower back down. Bringing your arms to be perpendicular to your body, we're going to lift our right hip up. So you're going to inhale here and coming off, putting the weight into your left hand and bringing the chest up and the right hip up. We're going to do a stretch here to bring the right hand behind and also inhale to bring the right foot to connect with the hand. If this feels like it's too much, again, you can just bring the hand back, or you can bring the hand down and bring the foot up. but just making the choice here, if it feels good, to connect the hand to the foot, knowing not to pull unnecessarily into the body here, but just feel whatever feels comfortable. And then we're going to roll that chest and that hip back down. And your hand grip can either be on the inside of your toe or on the outside. Just taking a moment here, stretching those thighs. We breathe in, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Inhale, we're going to roll that chest and that hip up once more, and then gently we're going to release that grip, lowering that right leg back to the ground, bringing that right arm up to the sky. We bring our chest and that hip back down to the ground, and we bring our head to the top of the mat, and just take a breath here. Inhale, exhale. Repeating on the left side this time. Inhale, we're going to roll up on that chest and that hip. And again, lift that left hand, find its way to the back if you wish, and then bending that left knee to bring your foot to connect with the hand if it feels good. If it does not, do not feel that you need to do more than what your body is telling you. If the hand and foot connect, then to lower back onto that left hip in the chest, and breathing in here, breathing out. Inhale, exhale. Inhale this time, lifting that chest and that hip up again. We release that left leg, letting it go back down. Bringing that left arm back up to the mat. We bring our hands to the top of the mat and lower the head onto the hands. Taking a moment here to breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale here. We'll bring our hands to our chest. We'll press ourselves up to tabletop, and we'll bring ourselves over to a seated pose, bringing our feet, the palms of the feet, to touch. We're going to do a few rounds of folding over the legs. This first posture is known as Baddha Konasana, or bound angle pose. So again, you want to make sure that the flesh is pulled out from underneath your sit bones, that you feel nice and supported. And then as your legs bend in, maybe make kind of like a diamond shape. The props here can also be supported, the knees here if you wish. Place our hands on our ankles to lift the chest and the head up to the sky. And then on an exhale, you're going to keep the chest lifted as you lower yourself to a point that's comfortable in a forward fold over the legs. We breathe in here, inhale to lift, exhale to fold. We'll hold this for a few moments. Inhale, we look up, and then very slowly we bring ourselves back up to seated, up high, removing those blocks, need be. And we're going to extend the feet out in front, again, adjusting to make sure that we have a nice supported seat here, feet are out in front. We're going to inhale here, lifting those hands up to the sky. Then I'm going to just, as you exhale, turn those palms down and just lower your hands. This is sort of the natural way that our hands touch our legs. We are going to fold over, but I shared this particular element first because I want to encourage. Many people may be hyper flexible and may try and force themselves over to try and get close to the feet. That is not the point of this particular posture. Again, it's about what feels good and what feels supportive. So as we have our hands where they naturally fall, just know that there is no expectation that they need to make their way all the way down. So inhale here, we lift the arms up, face the palms forward, and then hinging from those hips, again, keep that chest lifted and tall. We exhale, fold over, allow the hands to fall where they fall. We inhale to lift that chest, exhale, fold over. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale one more time, exhale, inhale, lifting our head up, we bring the arms slowly up the legs, bringing them back in. And now we're going to bring the legs to put their palms of the feet on the ground. We're going to find our way onto our backs. I'm going to give a couple different options to get to your back. You are welcome to keep your hands supported behind you as I do. I will do so because I have a bad low back. But if you would like, you can also lift one leg, lift both legs, lift both arms, pike both legs, and find your way back down. But I, again, am going to do this with the support of my arms just because of my back. So we inhale here and very slowly find our way to our backs. Inhaling here, we're going to bring the palms of the feet to touch. And we're going to inhale to lift that right leg to the sky. And we're going to bend in that right knee to bring the right ankle on top of the left knee. So this is a seated, supported pigeon, which is going to do some stretching in the legs here. So this is one level where you may decide to rest. You can press your right hand onto the thigh. If you wish to do some more, you can inhale, bringing that left knee into the chest. And if you wish for one more level, you can wrap the hands around the left thigh. But wherever you decide to land, just take your time here just to breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. We're going to release the hands if they are around the thigh. And then lower that left foot if the knee is lifted. And then finally, we'll lift that right leg up to the sky. We'll point the foot, flex the foot, and then rotate it in one direction, followed by the other. And then we'll bend that right knee, bringing the right foot back to the ground. Switching to the opposite side here, inhale, lift that left leg. We bend the left knee, left ankle comes on top of the right knee. And then making a choice here, whichever version of this reclined pigeon feels most supportive for you. We inhale, we exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale one more time, exhale, and then releasing that grip, bringing that right foot back to the ground. We lift the left leg to the sky. Again, we point the foot, we flex the foot, we rotate in one direction, rotate in the opposite direction, and then bring the knee back to the ground. We'll finalize our practice doing A few more postures by inhaling the knees into the chest, giving them a nice squeeze, maybe rotating from side to side. Keeping that low back nice and massaged. Maybe rotating the circle, rotating the opposite circle. And then once you have done your part, we'll do one last posture, which is known as Happy Baby. So walk the hands up towards the feet, whatever feels most comfortable, and bring the knees in towards the armpits. Again, finding a nice rock from side to side if that feels nice and supportive for you. Breathing in, breathing out, and then coming to stillness here. We bring the knees back into the chest, and very slowly we extend the left foot, followed by the right foot, into what's known as Shavasana. This is the final resting pose of our practice. Every yoga practice ends with Shavasana. So I invite you to stay here on your back. I'm going to sit up. But we are now at the end of our practice where Shavasana gives us a few moments of silence. No more instruction. This is an opportunity for you to let go of your practice, to just be. And so I invite you, eyes to close if they're not already, and know that these moments are to be with yourself in sense and relax. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Bringing yourselves back to your bodies. If you've drifted away, begin to bring small movement in the fingers and toes to wake the body, and gently lifting the arms overhead to give a nice stretch. And then when you're ready, inhaling those knees into your chest, wrapping your arms around those knees, and very gently allowing the knees to fall over to the right. Taking a moment here for yourself. And then when you're ready, using your hands, gently bringing yourself up to a nice seated posture, facing my voice, keeping your eyes closed or at a soft gaze. Bringing the hands into heart center and bowing your chin into your chest. Giving yourselves gratitude and acknowledgement in your completion of your practice. May you take the energy that you created in this practice with you, and each and every day where you find the need to focus on yourself, may you find the space and the place for opportunities like yoga to be able to bring you back into your body, to be present